Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into the hidden meaning of a single ancient word. And it just might change the way you see, well, everything. So let's start with a really basic question. When you see the color blue, how do you actually know it's blue? I mean, is it just slapping a label you've learned onto a color? Is seeing something the same thing as knowing it? Well, the key to unlocking all of this is one word from the ancient Pali language, Sañjānāti. Now, this word pops up thousands of times in early Buddhist texts, but what it really means is so much richer than you'd think. So let's start with how it usually gets translated. Okay, first up, let's just look at the standard by-the-book dictionary definition. If you look it up in a trusted source, like from the Polytext Society, the main translation is pretty simple: to perceive or to recognize. You know, the basic act of identifying something. And you see this in the ancient texts all the time. This quote here describes the simple act of just recognizing different colors. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Case closed? Well, not quite. This is where it gets really interesting. Now we're going to look deeper into the word's ancient DNA, its root. And what we find is this fascinating tension, because the ancient root points to something way more active, way more intimate than just passively perceiving. So using this ancient method called niruti, which is all about getting linguistic insight, we can break the word down. You see, it's made of two parts. First, you've got sam, which means together or with. And then you have jnel, which means to know. So here's the kicker. It's not just to know something from a distance, it's to know with. So what is the real difference between just perceiving something and this idea of knowing with it? Okay, let's actually visualize it. The dictionary definition, to perceive, think of it like a camera. It's just passively recording an image of a blue square. You know, light hits the sensor, the data gets recorded, and that's it. The camera has no relationship with the color blue. But to know with, that is a whole different ballgame. This is your mind actively taking that raw data of the blue square and connecting it with the concept, with the memory, with the label blue. A relationship gets formed in that split second. Now, the ancient texts describe this as a super fast, rapid-fire process. It starts with just contact and a neutral feeling. But step 3, Sañjānāti, that's the crucial moment. That's where the mind actively marks the raw experience with a label, like blue. And it's only after that active marking that all our other thoughts and judgments about the experience can even begin. So this totally reframes how we think about knowing something. It's not about your eyes just passively taking in the world like you're watching a movie on a screen. No, knowing is an active process. It's like you're stamping your experience with meaning, kind of like pressing a hot brand onto a surface. You're leaving a mark that defines what you've just encountered. Okay, so we've gone from perceive to know with, from this passive seeing to active marking. But so what? Why does this little linguistic shift even matter for us today? It matters because, as this ancient text hints, how we internally know with things directly shapes how we talk about them. The way we label our experiences on the inside, that dictates the reality we project on the outside. Our inner marking literally becomes our outer world. What this all means is that we are not just these passive observers of the world. Nope. We are active participants in creating its meaning. We co-create our reality, moment by moment, with every single act of knowing with. And so, I'll leave you with this final thought. As you look away from the screen and just go about your day, try to pay attention to this process. What concepts, what labels, what ideas are you actively knowing with your world, and how is that shaping your reality?